Kate was always up for an adventure, seeking thrill and excitement wherever she could find it. When she discovered Erin, she saw it as an opportunity to explore new places and immerse herself in different cultures. Little did she know that her most terrifying experience was just around the corner. One day, while scrolling through the Airbnb listings, Kate stumbled upon a charming cottage located in a secluded area. The photos showcased a serene setting, surrounded by nature, and offering a much-needed escape from the chaos of everyday life. Intrigued, she quickly made a reservation and eagerly awaited her stay. Upon arrival, Kate was greeted by Mr. Anderson, the owner of the cottage. He seemed friendly and welcoming, showing her around the property and ensuring she had everything she needed. However, there was something unsettling about his demeanor that sent a shiver down her spine. As the evening wore on, Kate settled into the cozy cottage, appreciating the peacefulness of her surroundings. However, her sense of unease persisted, and she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Every creak of the floorboards and rustle of the leaves outside seemed amplified, intensifying her discomfort. Late into the night, while lying in bed, Kate heard a faint noise coming from the hallway. Curiosity mingled with fear as she cautiously got up to investigate. The sound led her to a partially open door, revealing a dimly lit room. Peering inside, she saw Mr. Anderson hunched over a table covered in photographs. Confusion and alarm flooded her thoughts as she realized that the photographs were of her. Each image captured her during her stay, with dates and detailed notes scribbled beneath them. It was as if Mr. Anderson had been meticulously observing her every move, noting down her routines and even her vulnerabilities. Paralyzed with fear, Kate slowly backed away, but her movement caught Mr. Anderson's attention. He turned his gaze towards her, and a malevolent grin spread across his face. Panic surged through Kate's veins as she realized the true nature of her host. Mr. Anderson lunged towards her, a glint of madness in his eyes. Kate's survival instinct kicked in, and she sprinted towards the front door, desperate to escape his clutches. But before she could reach safety, he grabbed hold of her, his grip tightening around her wrist. Kate fought with every ounce of strength she had, struggling to break free from Mr. Anderson's grasp. Fear fueled her adrenaline as she desperately searched for a way to defend herself. In a stroke of luck, she spotted a heavy decorative vase sitting on a nearby table. With a surge of determination, Kate swung the vase with all her might, striking Mr. Anderson across the head. He staggered backward, momentarily stunned by the blow. Taking advantage of the opportunity, Kate wrenched herself free and darted towards the front door. As she fumbled with the lock, panic threatened to engulf her. The sound of Mr. Anderson's footsteps grew closer, each thud echoing in her ears. Finally, the lock clicked open, and Kate burst through the door, gasping for breath as she ran into the night. She sprinted through the dark, unfamiliar streets, her heart pounding in her chest. Adrenaline coursed through her veins as she realized she had narrowly escaped a deadly encounter. Determined to ensure her safety, she flagged down a passing car and pleaded for help. The kind-hearted stranger called the authorities, and Kate relayed her harrowing experience to the police. They arrived at the cottage and apprehended Mr. Anderson, uncovering a dark history of violent tendencies and predatory behavior. Kate's story provided the final piece of evidence needed to bring him to justice. In the aftermath of the incident, Kate faced the daunting task of rebuilding her life. The trauma lingered, casting a shadow over her sense of security. However, she refused to let fear dictate her future. With the support of loved ones and professional counseling, she gradually reclaimed her strength and resilience. Kate's story resonated with others, sparking a national conversation about safety measures and accountability within the sharing economy. Her bravery encouraged other survivors to come forward, exposing the dark underbelly of Erin and prompting the company to implement stricter screening processes and enhanced security measures. As time passed, Kate's experience became a cautionary tale, reminding travelers to exercise caution and remain vigilant when staying in unfamiliar places. Her advocacy work focused on empowering individuals to trust their instincts, research hosts thoroughly, and report any suspicious or threatening behavior. Though scared by her encounter, Kate emerged from the darkness with newfound resilience. She turned her ordeal into an opportunity to raise awareness and effect positive change. With her unwavering determination, she dedicated herself to making the sharing economy a safer place for all. And so, Kate's terrifying encounter with Mr. Anderson served as a catalyst for change, empowering others and ensuring that her story would never be forgotten. Her resilience and advocacy left an indelible mark, reminding everyone to prioritize their safety and trust their instincts when exploring the world of shared accommodations. Michael, an adventurous traveler, had always relied on Ayrton for unique and exciting accommodation. One summer, he decided to visit a remote coastal town and found a charming cottage nestled in the woods. The listing had positive reviews and beautiful photos, so he eagerly booked it for a week-long getaway. Upon arriving at the cottage, Michael was captivated by its rustic charm and the peaceful surroundings. The host, Sarah, welcomed him warmly and handed over the keys. The first few days were idyllic, with Michael exploring the nearby trails and enjoying the serene beauty of the ocean. However, as the days went by, Michael started noticing strange things happening around the cottage. Objects would mysteriously move from their original places, and he would occasionally hear faint noises when no one else was around. At first, he brushed it off as his imagination, but the incidents became more frequent and unsettling. One evening, while preparing dinner, Michael heard a loud crash coming from the living room. He rushed to investigate and found a valuable antique vase shattered on the floor. It had been securely placed on a table, and there was no apparent reason for it to have fallen. Determined to get to the bottom of things, Michael began paying closer attention to his surroundings. He noticed that the cottage had a peculiar layout, with hidden nooks and crannies. There was a locked door in the basement that piqued his curiosity, but Sarah had never mentioned it during check-in. Unable to resist his growing curiosity, Michael contacted Sarah and asked about the locked door. She seemed hesitant and evasive, claiming that it was just a storage area, and there was no need to go there. Her response only fueled Michael's determination to uncover the truth. Late one night, while Sarah was away, Michael managed to find a spare key to the locked door. He entered the basement, his heart pounding with anticipation. As he descended into the darkness, he felt a chill run down his spine. In the dim light, he discovered a hidden room, completely empty except for a dusty old trunk. With trembling hands, he cautiously opened it, revealing a collection of newspaper clippings and old photographs. The clippings told a disturbing story. A crime had occurred in the cottage years ago. According to the articles, the previous owner of the cottage had been involved in a series of burglaries and was eventually caught. The hidden room had served as his hideaway, and it appeared that he had left some of his stolen loot behind. As Michael delved deeper into the clippings, he discovered that the criminal had never revealed the location of all his stolen items. It seemed that there might still be valuable possessions hidden somewhere within the cottage. Filled with a mix of excitement and trepidation, Michael embarked on a mission to uncover the remaining hidden treasures. Little did he know that this quest would lead him down a dangerous path as the shadows of the past came alive, and someone else became aware of his discoveries. Determined to find the hidden treasures within the cottage, Michael began meticulously searching every nook and cranny. He spent hours examining the walls, floorboards, and even the furniture, hoping to uncover the secret compartments where the stolen items might be concealed. As he delved deeper into his search, Michael couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. He would often catch glimpses of movement out of the corner of his eye, and he would hear soft footsteps echoing through the empty rooms. The eerie atmosphere heightened his sense of unease, but his determination to solve the mystery kept him going. Days turned into weeks, and Michael's obsession with finding the stolen treasures consumed him. Sleepless nights and relentless searching took a toll on his physical and mental well-being. He became increasingly paranoid, convinced that someone else was also searching for the hidden loot and would stop at nothing to get it. One stormy night, as he continued his search in the attic, he stumbled upon an old diary hidden beneath a pile of dusty books. Intrigued, he began reading the entries, and a chilling story unfolded before his eyes. The diary belonged to the criminal who had lived in the cottage years ago. It revealed a dark and twisted mind, detailing not only his crimes, but also his descent into madness. It became clear that he had hidden more than just stolen items within the cottage. He had also buried his victims on the property. Fear gripped Michael as he realized the gravity of the situation. The hidden treasures he had been searching for were no longer his priority. He knew he had to uncover the truth about the criminal's heinous acts and bring justice to the victims and their families. With a renewed sense of purpose, Michael contacted the local authorities and provided them with all the evidence he had gathered. A thorough investigation was launched, unearthing the remains of the criminal's victims and shedding light on the dark secrets that had plagued the cottage for years. The community was shocked by the revelations, and the cottage became a symbol of horror and tragedy. Michael, although haunted by the experience, found solace in knowing that justice had been served. He vowed never to let his curiosity lead him into such dangerous territory again. As time passed, the cottage underwent a complete transformation. It was renovated and repurposed into a community center dedicated to supporting victims of crime. Michael, too, became actively involved in helping those affected by the trauma, using his own experience as a catalyst for positive change. The once dark and mysterious cottage now stood as a beacon of hope, reminding everyone that even in the face of darkness, there is the possibility of healing and redemption. Michael's journey through the secrets and shadows had taught him the importance of facing the truth, even when it is terrifying, and using that truth to bring about justice and healing. Chris was an adventurous traveler who loved exploring new places. He often relied on Aaron to find unique and affordable accommodations during his trips. One day, while planning his next adventure, he stumbled upon a mysterious listing on the Aaron website. The description boasted of a charming cottage nestled deep in the woods, promising a serene and secluded getaway. Intrigued, Chris decided to book it for his upcoming vacation. Upon arriving at the cottage, Chris was immediately captivated by its rustic charm. The surrounding forest enveloped the property, creating an atmosphere of tranquility. However, as the days went by, Chris began to notice strange occurrences. It started with small, subtle things: a misplaced item, a creaking floorboard, or a sudden gust of wind indoors. One night, as Chris lay in bed, he heard a faint whisper echoing through the cottage. He dismissed it as his imagination, but the whispering continued, growing louder and more distinct with each passing moment. It seemed to be coming from behind the cottage's locked door that led to the basement. Curiosity got the better of Chris, and he decided to investigate the source of the whispers. With trembling hands, he unlocked the basement door and descended into the darkness. The whispers grew louder, filling the air with an eerie presence. As Chris reached the bottom of the stairs, he was greeted by a sight that sent chills down his spine. The basement was filled with photographs, thousands of them, displayed on the walls. Each photo depicted a different guest who had stayed at the cottage, frozen in various states of fear and distress. Some photos showed terrified expressions, while others captured desperate attempts to escape. Chris felt a wave of horror wash over him, realizing that he too had been unknowingly captured in one of these photographs. Determined to unravel the mystery behind the photographs, Chris delved deeper into researching the history of the cottage. He discovered that the cottage had once been owned by a notorious serial killer who lured unsuspecting travelers to their demise. The whispers he had heard were the echoes of their tortured souls, trapped within the walls of the cottage. Chris knew he had to escape this sinister place, but the more he tried, the stronger its grip became. Doors slammed shut, windows refused to open, and the forest outside seemed impenetrable, as if guarding the secrets within. The cottage had become a labyrinth of terror, and Chris was trapped in its grip. Desperate for help, Chris reached out to the Airbnb customer support, but his messages went unanswered. It seemed as though the cottage had disappeared from their database, leaving him alone in his nightmare. With each passing day, the whispers grew louder, the photographs multiplied, and Chris's sanity teetered on the edge. As Chris's desperation grew, he stumbled upon a local historian who had knowledge of the cottage's dark past. The historian revealed that the serial killer had been captured and executed, but his malevolent spirit lingered, haunting anyone who dared to enter the cottage. Armed with this information, Chris sought the help of a renowned paranormal investigator, Emma, who specialized in dealing with restless spirits. Emma arrived at the cottage, equipped with her tools and an unwavering determination to free Chris from the clutches of the malevolent entity. Together, Chris and Emma conducted a series of intense rituals to confront the spirit and break its hold over the cottage. They performed cleansing ceremonies, recited ancient incantations, and employed various paranormal techniques. Each attempt only seemed to anger the spirit further, intensifying its malicious presence. Days turned into weeks as Chris and Emma tirelessly fought against the relentless spirit. Finally, on a stormy night, they managed to weaken its hold, creating a small window of opportunity for escape. With a burst of courage, they ran through the dark forest, pursued by the vengeful spirit. The spirit's presence faded as they reached the edge of the forest, and the air cleared around them. Chris and Emma collapsed onto the ground, physically and mentally drained, but victorious in their battle against the supernatural. In the aftermath, Chris learned that the cottage had been delisted from Airbnb due to numerous reports of unexplained phenomena and disappearances. The company had decided to distance itself from the haunted property, erasing all traces of its existence from their platform. Chris vowed never to use Airbnb again, realizing the dangers that could lurk behind seemingly innocent listings. He became an advocate for traveler safety, sharing his harrowing experience to raise awareness and caution others about the hidden risks that can accompany their adventures. As for Emma, she continued her work, helping others trapped in similar supernatural predicaments. She remained haunted by the memory of the cottage and the evil it contained, fueling her determination to protect innocent souls from falling victim to the dark forces that lurk in the shadows. And so, Chris and Emma's paths diverge, forever bound by their shared experience at the haunted Airbnb cottage. Chris moved on with his life, forever changed by the ordeal, while Emma ventured into the unknown, prepared to face any darkness that crossed her path. The cottage, now left abandoned, stood as a chilling reminder of the horrors it had witnessed. Its walls held the secrets of the tormented souls who had fallen victim to its sinister allure, a reminder that not all Airbnb listings are as they seem. Jen was an adventurous traveler who loved exploring new places. When she planned her next vacation, she decided to try something different and book an Airbnb for her stay. She had heard great things about unique and affordable accommodations available through the platform, and she was excited to experience it firsthand. As Jen scrolled through the Airbnb listings in her chosen destination, she came across a peculiar one that immediately caught her attention. The photos showed an old Victorian house with an eerie charm. The listing was titled, "The Enigma House," a dark history. Jen's curiosity got the best of her, and despite the warning signs, she couldn't resist booking it. A few weeks later, Jen arrived at the Enigma House. It was nestled in a remote part of town, surrounded by dense woods that added to its mystique. The host, Mr. Lancaster, greeted her warmly, but with a hint of secrecy in his eyes. He handed her the keys and told her to make herself at home. Jen noticed peculiar details as she settled in. The air in the house felt heavy, and the creaking floors and flickering lights gave her an unsettling feeling. Nevertheless, she shrugged it off, attributing it to the house's age. On her first night, Jen couldn't shake off a sense of unease. The atmosphere in the Enigma house felt oppressive, as if secrets were hidden in its walls. She decided to do some research and discovered a shocking truth. The house had been previously rented by a notorious serial killer. The news sent shivers down her spine. Questions raced through her mind. Had she unknowingly stepped into a dark and sinister place? What horrors had occurred within these walls? Determined to uncover the truth, Jen began investigating the Enigma house's history. She visited the local library, searching for any information on the previous occupants. Newspaper clippings revealed a chilling tale of disappearances and unsolved murders that had haunted the community years ago. Jen's curiosity grew into a mission to expose the truth behind the Enigma house and its connection to the serial killer. She reached out to local authorities and even contacted the families of the victims, hoping to piece together the missing puzzle. Jen's relentless pursuit of the truth led her down a dark and twisted path. She discovered that the Enigma house had indeed been rented by a serial killer named Richard Simmons, who had lured unsuspecting guests to their deaths within its walls. Digging deeper, Jen found chilling evidence that pointed to a series of hidden rooms and secret compartments in the house. It became clear that Simmons had used the Enigma house as a hunting ground, a place where he could carry out his heinous acts undetected. As Jen delved further into the investigation, she began receiving anonymous messages, warning her to stop her inquiries. Threats were left on her doorstep, and she felt a constant sense of being watched. Undeterred by the danger, she pressed on, determined to bring justice to the victims and expose the dark secrets of the Enigma house. With the help of a dedicated detective who believed in her cause, Jen uncovered a network of accomplices who had aided Simmons in his sinister activities. She pieced together the chilling details of his crimes and the twisted rituals he performed within the house. The more Jen learned, the more she realized that the Enigma house was a place of unspeakable horror. It had become a chilling reminder that evil could lurk behind even the most unsuspecting facades. Driven by her quest for justice, Jen collected evidence and testimonies from survivors and witnesses. The pieces began to fall into place, and she knew it was time to bring everything to light. In a tense and dramatic confrontation, the truth of the Enigma house was exposed to the world. Simmons and his accomplices were apprehended, and the house was marked as a site of unspeakable crimes. As the investigation concluded, Jen finally felt a sense of closure. The Enigma house would forever be remembered as a haunting symbol of the darkness that can reside within seemingly ordinary places. The victims received the recognition and justice they deserved, and Jen's determination had played a significant role in bringing their stories to light. Jen, forever changed by her harrowing experience, continued to advocate for the victims and work towards raising awareness about the dangers that could lurk within the shadows. Her bravery and perseverance became an inspiration to others, reminding them to remain vigilant and question the secrets hidden beneath the surface. The Enigma house, now vacant and tainted by its dark past, stood as a solemn reminder of the horrors that had unfolded within its walls. And though its story was one of tragedy, it served as a reminder to never underestimate the power of curiosity, the resilience of the human spirit, and the importance of unmasking the darkness that may lie hidden in plain sight.